So today we are going to be testing out the Senegence foundation. I tested out a bunch of their other products in my last video. I'll link it up here so you can go and check that out if you'd like. But I did not try the foundation in that video. I tried the tinted moisturizer and I liked that. So today I figured we would try out the foundation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and test it out. As you can see, I got a little sunburnt yesterday, so it'll actually be a pretty good test of its coverage. I have just like a sample size of it. I don't have the actual, I think it comes in like a tube. I don't know if it has a pump or not. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the actual full-size product in person. But I did get these samples, and the shade that I'm going to try out today is tan. I think it might be, we'll see how it matches. It might be a little too dark, but we will try it. So its official name is MakeSense Foundation Base Original, and it's oil free, and like I said, the shade is tan. And that's really all it says. It doesn't claim to be matte or dewy, or like, it doesn't have a description on here on this packaging. I can look it up and see what its actual claims are, like if it's matte, dewy, satin finish, whatever its finish may be, and I can put it in the description box as well down below. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand just like I would with my normal foundation, and I think that's probably good. So I just have a pretty good pile on the back of my hand. I might not use it all, but we shall see. And then I'm just gonna use my normal sponge. I'm gonna spritz it down with some water just to dampen it. Don't want it too wet, but just a little damp. Get this hair out of my face. Alright, so I'm just gonna go in with the flat side of my sponge and go in with it. So this might be a tad bit too dark. So I also have the color Fawn. I'm going to just mix that in with it to try to better match. So I'm just going to put some of that on the back of my hand as well. And then I'm just going to take like a dab of that and kind of try to mix them together so that it matches a little bit closer to my neck. So maybe we'll go in with just the shade Fawn. That might actually be a better color. So I'm just putting a little more. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go. I mean, the coverage on it seems to be pretty good at this point. It is covering up the redness, so it's That's what we want to see. I am using a pretty ample amount, especially on this side where I had to do the kind of double coat to make the color match. So if I have to build up this side, I'll put a little more on as well. Just bringing it down my neck a little bit. Yeah, the fawn shade is definitely a better match. The tan shade might match me after my sunburn turns to tan, but not at the moment. So it seems to be, it doesn't look like it's a matte finish so far. I don't know if you, oh yeah, you can see the shine. So I don't know if it's supposed to be dewy or natural. I mean, I don't mind it. It's not like my nose doesn't look super shiny like where I normally get oily in my T-zone. Like, I like how it looks dewy on my cheekbones. But we will set it down with a powder. I do, especially in my T-zone, I'll set down with a powder that I've been using and that I know I like. I'll only use powders over the top that I know I like. You don't want to test out a foundation using different, like other different products that you're not sure how they perform as well, because then you don't know how the foundation is performing, because technically you're testing out like a whole face at that point and how things are working together rather than just testing out the foundation. If you ever have a new product that you want to test, I would recommend just trying that one product and combining them with other products that you know you do like and that you know perform how you like them too. That'll be the best indicator of how you like the foundation and how it performs. Or if it's a different product, how that product performs. I moisturized my face a pretty good dose of aloe gel, just because I was so sunburned and I don't really want it to peel and get all dry and gross. So generally that's what I use when I've gotten a little too much sun. I just use the plain gel. I think I got it at Walmart. No, actually I believe I got it at Rite Aid. And it just comes in like a little pump. It's like a lotion bottle, but it's just the plain gel and it's with the no color added, so it's just clear. I also have some After Sun aloe lotion as well, and I like that. I use that on the rest of my body if I get sunburnt there as well, which I did, of course. Well, it's not like I wasn't trying to get burnt. I laid out in the sun for a good couple hours yesterday afternoon, so I generally, when I burn, it'll turn to tan in a couple days, and then I can just keep building on top of the tan. I don't tan and then just turn back to white. I know some people have a problem tanning and burning, and that's kind of how that goes for them, but that's not the case for me. And I know I should be using sunscreen, but I generally don't. And I don't use self-tan. I like to tan naturally, as bad as it is for my skin. I've heard it all before, so you don't have to tell me. But I think that we've blended it out pretty well. It is still a bit darker than my neck. You definitely can tell that there's a little bit of a difference. But it's not too terrible. I don't know if maybe I'll bring some more down my neck just so that it doesn't look so crazy. Because the fawn shade matches my neck pretty well, actually. So I'm wondering if that means that it oxidizes. I mean, I know I went in with the darker color on this side, but this side, even though it matches a little better to my neck, it still looks a little darker. So it might oxidize a little bit. I'm just gonna try to like lighten up where my neck meets my chin right here so that it looks like it goes together a little better. And then I'm just gonna bring that down my neck some more as well. I generally don't bring my foundation this far down my neck. I try to match myself pretty well. So generally I just kind of like go under my chin a little. I don't go the full length down my neck. I feel like that's kind of pointless. Like I feel like you should just get a shade that matches you, so that you don't have to do that. That's a lot of work, and that's it's kind of a lot of a waste of makeup when you most likely don't need to bring it all the way down your neck. I mean, if you like to do that, fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, and oh my god, like, oh, what a makeup faux pas that is to do. Like, it's makeup, you do whatever you want to do, but that's just generally what I try to do. I think we're all blended out. It looks pretty good. Around my nose is always like it's a problem area. It's kind of hard to get foundation to spread evenly. I usually have to like move my nose to the side and make sure I really get in there just so that it's like fully covered. But yeah. Just make sure there's no creases on my under eye. I also don't use concealer. A lot of people use concealer on their under eyes every day. I do not. I never really have. I will when I'm just playing with makeup, but on the everyday, and even when I do like a full face glam like on a regular basis, I don't reach for concealer. I don't feel like I really have bags or discoloration under my eyes, so I mean, I'm blessed in that way. So far, as I'm aging, I'm sure that will change, but so far I don't have that concern, so I don't really worry about it too much, and I don't feel the need to really lighten my under eyes too much. I know some people use concealer for that purpose as well. I think I really like how this blended out. I'll zoom you in so that you can see before I set it with powder, but I think that actually looks really pretty, and it is a nice full coverage. It got rid of all of my redness. So let's just zoom you in. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of still see that little blemish there, but that's a hard one to cover up. It's pretty dark, a dark mark. But overall, this is my forehead. I think it blended out pretty well, and it did a nice coverage. It feels a little tacky down here. But it's probably just not dry yet. But I really like that. I think it gives a really pretty finish. It really evened out my skin tone, and as full coverage as it is, I don't feel like it looks cakey at all, and it still has a little bit of a sheen to it, a little bit of dew, so that it looks more like my skin and not like a mask, which I prefer. I generally go for like medium to lighter coverage foundations because I'd almost rather you see my blemishes, as long as they're not too, you know, too grotesque, but I'd rather you see the imperfections in my skin rather than like caked on full coverage foundation. That's just my personal preference. So I really like how this turned out. I will set it with powder and show you the final look with the foundation on, and then I will update the description box with how I felt it wore. I'm gonna set it with some of the powders that I know I like, and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is what the final product looks like with just the foundation and the powders that I normally use. So the powder that I use to set my under eye is the Becca powder. It is the Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. So this is the one, I got it in a BoxyCharm, ooh, I don't know, last year sometime. I don't remember exactly how long I've had it, but it's a weird powder. I don't know if any of you have ever tried it, but it's the powder that when you put it on, it kind of feels wet. Like, it's really strange, but it's kind of cool. But I like to use that underneath my eyes and to set my T-zone. It's a really fine powder, and it is a little bit brighter, so it brightens just like a tad bit. Like I said, I don't really care to have like these incredibly brightened under eyes and T-zone. It's not really my jam, not what I go for. But yeah, so that's what I used under my eyes and my T-zone, and then to set the rest of my face, I used my normal Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation powder in the shade 220. That's normally what I use. So for the Becca powder, I use my sponge to set my under eyes and T-zone, and then for the Fit Me powder for the rest of my face, I just use a fluffy face brush. But that is the finished product for the face. I will update the description box with how it turned out and how it wore. So check down there for the results. Alright, thanks for watching today, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Hello, everybody. No, it's bad. Hello! So today, we are going to... That'll be the best. What am I trying to say? With just plain aloe. I keep trying to get that foundation with my hair. I feel like on the sides of my noses. My noses. I've got one nose. Oh my god. Anyway, it's usually a problem area, so come in. Chefs. This isn't gonna work now, is it? Just way too much. Oh, that's real dirty. That looks disgusting. Let's try that again. Okay, let's try that again. For the rest of my face, I just used my normal Maybelline Fit Me Matte and I will update the description box.